Good morning, Maya Power back. Here's the plan. Walls all over the place upstairs in the house being put up today. The swimming pool crew are going to be continuing their plastering work. The west perimeter wall is very close to being completed, and they are today working on removing some of those impediments that will allow them to work on the wall around that corner. The crew barracks is continuing to be demolished. I will reveal what was my Christmas present. What could possibly go wrong? Right, we'll start here on the west wall. And we are fully up to height with concrete hollow blocks on all of it. We just have the top tie beam to go on 7 sections. The rebar is mostly in place. They've got about 3 sections still to finish off, but it's mostly there. And then the wall around the corner is also fully up to height for 1 section. And we'll go and have a look at the work that's being done to clear a path down the rest of that side. Well, there's no one here right now, but they were working earlier on this morning on this monster tree stump. So I think that will get more attention later in the day. And then I'll go back a little bit and have a look at the next impediment. These mounds are not good news. I think I said yesterday we'd still seen no sign of termites. Well, we have. These 2 mounds here, and I think there's a third. They are termite nests. And it turns out that actually this is not the first time termites have been spotted. Kept saying how remarkable it was that we had no termites here. Well, they have apparently found termites in 2 other places during the build. I just hadn't questioned it. The good news, if there is any good news with that, is that all of the termites they've found have been right up here towards the west end of the property. So pretty much as far away as you can get from the house. But there are termites. And after they clear the huge tree stump up towards the west end, they've still got 1 here, another one I'll zoom in on, and then a third, plus the still living tree. Lots more still to be done before they can connect to the neighbour's wall. It's not very far. I'm standing basically right next to it, but it's a lot of stuff to be cleared out of the way. Here at the swimming pool, the plastering process is continuing, and here we are at the shallow end. I think they're roughly 2/3 of the way around the exterior wall, and then of course once that's complete they've got to work on this central part. So that's still, I'm going to guess, at least today and tomorrow before that's completed. Here in the home theatre room, I've had to ask them to stop with putting in these boxes for electrical. Basically because I'm a dummy. And it only occurred to me last night that this room needs to be insulated for sound. I think what that's going to mean is we will need to put some kind of fiberglass material on the walls, followed by some kind of drywall. So setting these boxes back by the concrete hollow block probably isn't going to work. So, my bad. We have to now look at a bit more detail of how that insulation process would work. At which point I need to say a huge thank you to Steve Lodge. Steve mentioned in a comment a little while ago that effectively home theatres were his business. And that was a huge mistake on his part, because since then I have been inundating him with questions about how to build a home theatre. And he has been enormously patient with me so far and has provided a ton of information. Steve, thank you so much. You've no idea how much you've helped. So yeah, this is on hold. They are going to continue with putting these junction boxes in elsewhere in the house. Upstairs, more walls being started. I'm standing in the bedroom that is in the northeast corner, so the wall next to the corridor is just being started. Marvin is working on the outside wall of the bedroom in the northwest corner. And we'll go and see where else walls are springing up. Ronwell is adding height to the wall that separates the master bedroom from the stairs. Well, that's it, but while that's going on, the engineer, morning Marvin, the engineer is making sure that everything is going up in all the right places. There is less and less of this old knackered building that was being used for barracks. That's coming down piece by piece. And don't do this at home, guys. That is our electrician up there, so he does know what he's doing. But fiddling with electricity, yeah, don't play with electricity, it kills you. I asked yesterday, what do you think this is? My Christmas present. And we were inundated with responses. 2. But bizarrely, 3 correct answers. Bruce Tupikoff, and Bruce, I hope I said that right, was first in. And then Graham Cebu Philippines also gave the correct answer. But it became 3 correct answers because it wasn't just Graham Cebu Philippines, it was his wife as well. What is it? Compost bins. So these will be built up into individual bays. They won't go any higher with concrete hollow block. They're going to need to use wood above this, which is obviously not ideal given our newfound termite situation. But this will go higher and then it'll have a roof. These extra concrete hollow blocks on the wall do seem to make it a very high compost bin. Higher than I was expecting, but no harm in that. There will be a roof across the top, and again there will be wooden frontages to each of the bays, basically for access. And the wood above the concrete blocks on the internal walls is so that you can effectively turn material from one bay into the next. So Bruce, Graham, Mrs. Graham, good job, well done.
Well, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but you can probably see what they're up to. Trying to cut away at these tree roots. They've been digging more around it, and the same with this big one, but now they're having to go with the chainsaw. So we'll see if that makes substantial difference. Still think it's going to be quite a lot of work. But behind them, if you can make it out, I will zoom in, they have actually cut down the tree that was still alive. Still got the roots to go. And here on the west wall, we're approaching the middle of the afternoon, and we've just got the 3 sections to go. That's Ali up there, waving to you. 3 sections to go with the top toe beam. So the rebar is now all in place.
They just need to finish the forms, and we'll see whether or not that concrete actually gets poured today. If it does, that's the west wall finished. The monstrosity that was here is almost gone. Working on the last wall now. And I can tell you that the wall that was directly in front of us took a few goes to get it down. They attached rope initially to the truck, and then with a couple of guys pulling as well, they tried to pull it down. Rope broke. They got stronger rope, they stuck it to the diggerator. Tried again, rope broke. Third time, they got it. But yeah, it took a bit of effort, but almost gone. Then just clearly quite a lot of cleanup to follow. And here we have the hoist in operation. Yeah, that's easier than hand carrying concrete hollow blocks up the steps. Still not the easiest bit of manoeuvring, but it works. Upstairs, walls going higher. The bedroom wall with the stairs behind, pretty close to being up to height now. And this is coming from the top of the stairs, down the corridor. Bedroom wall 3/4 up. And the northwest bedroom wall, about a little bit between 1/3 and 1/2. Perimeter wall on the north side, 4 levels up, and just beginning over on the west wall, beyond which, I'm trying to remember if there's a balcony there. I think there is a balcony going out above the dirty kitchen. And swinging back this way, the one bedroom that isn't in a corner, that wall's about halfway up. So still lots of progress. Oh, and a little bit more has been done right over at the far side on the north side where the master bathroom and walk-in closet will be, but that's the external wall. We're over on the north side of the house where we've got the house fairly close to the perimeter wall, and we've had a visit from one of the remaining contenders for our aircon, and we're being consistent with all the aircon potential suppliers and saying we want all of the external units to be on this side of the house. It doesn't really matter if they are at ground level or if for the upstairs units, if they have the external units higher up. I mean, to my way of thinking, it would make sense to have them all at ground level just for maintenance purposes. But that does potentially come with a fairly steep cost in terms of piping. So that's the plan. We want all the external units to be over here, kind of out of sight, regardless of where the internal units in the house are. So even if they're right over on the south side, the external units will still be here. We have got still 4 air conditioning companies in the mix out of, I think it was 10 that we asked to quote and 9 that actually did. And discussions are still ongoing. One of the keys for me is, with all of the contracts that I was sent, they all had exclusions, which meant that there was a price quoted, but there could have been additional price increases on top of that to cover whatever those exclusions were. And the biggest reason for our delay now has been that we've gone back to all of them and said we would like contracts that have 0 exclusions, so that whatever we sign, that's the price. Unless we mess up and we add, we change something. But that's what's been kind of holding us up. That's what we're trying to get all the air conditioning suppliers to agree to and re-propose. We're getting close. I think we may have a decision within a week or so. Here at the pool, these guys have been moving today. They have completed all of the external wall and they've got a fair bit of the wall around the platform area also done. So I'm going to stop estimating when they're going to be finished on here, because like so many other things on this build, it's going faster than I expect. It's the end of the day, 4:30, bell's gone, and I'm back at the west wall, which is done. Well, I say it's done. I can't see right into the very corner. I can see that concrete has been poured most of the way along that upper tie beam section. I suspect they may not have poured it right into the corner and into that column, because they'll probably want to do that as a single pour when they go around and pour the next part going around the corner. That's the good news. The slightly less good news is that these major tree trunks are not out yet. They have been hacking and cutting and sawing and doing all sorts, but they're not out yet. Neither this one right in front of us, or the one that's a little bit further down, or the ones beyond that. So there is more work to be done tomorrow. Maybe one or more of these will come out. The plastering has continued apace. They have just a little bit more than half of this central island left to do. Everything else, as far as I can see, is done. If I look a little closer, I will zoom it in. We'll see if there's any decent light. In fact, it might be a little easier over this side. You'll see it is absolutely not smooth, but it's dramatically different to how it was. So we will continue to watch and learn and see how smooth do they make it. Here in the kitchen, the electrician, one of the electricians, has continued to work on the electrical outlets. So we've got a couple in place in here, and there are more dotted around downstairs. Kapan did point out to me that I had been effectively thinking American with the height of these outlets, where I was talking about a standard height being about 12 inches or 30 centimeters, and the fact that we were going to go with 15 inches or nearly 40 centimeters. In the UK, it's higher than that. Now, I can't off the top of my head remember, it's either the minimum or the standard is 45 centimeters from the floor at the bottom, whatever that is. If it's tiled, then you have to allow for the tiles, put the tiles in, then measure. So it's higher in the UK, and that is, I guess, because my massively detailed 30-second Google search is on a US search engine. So that's what it gave me. Kapan, thank you very much, and thank you for also being patient with me and explaining why there is a maximum height in UK regulations to ensure that people in wheelchairs have access. Upstairs walls. We're beginning to get the wall here on the side of the stairs, between the stairs and the master bedroom walk-in closet. The wall over there on the south side has gone up a little bit, and over this way, sorry about the spin, I don't think this wall on the right has gone up anymore. More work has been done over on the north side of the house and over here on the west. Walls going up all over the place. There we go, the end of day 109, the day when this monstrosity was brought to its knees. Well, the work day is done, time to play. Some well-earned relaxation, although how they've still got any energy left is beyond me. Right, that is it. See you tomorrow.